Thank you very much, Dan. I'm humbled. I'm honored to be here. This is a very exciting time for me and for our group that was acknowledged in the back. I want to thank Dan Gilbert for believing in me, but really believing in our group that's been here. We have had unprecedented levels of success here the last 3 years. We've been to 3 straight finals. We've won an NBA championship here, and a lot of that has to do with the group we have in place. We have a tremendous depth of talent here in the front office, and just like Dan talked about with our guys, highly intelligent, capable people that are motivated and driven every day, very process-oriented, and they know what it takes to be successful because we've done it before. We also have incredible depth of talent throughout the building. We have a great coaching staff led by Coach Lou. The back of the house, we have a great performance staff. And then we have great players. We return a great team. And so, me and Dan talk about it, but it's unfortunate sort of the narrative that's going on right now, in terms of where we're at. This thing is not broken. We are a very successful organization, and we're going to continue to drive for that success. Get better and grow. Obviously, adjustments need to be made every year, but I want us to be very prideful of where we are as an organization, and how good we've been and how good we'll continue to be. It's interesting. This is a promotion, and it's an incredible promotion. I'll thank you for that. But I've been here. I know this organization really well. This is going to be my 6th year here. I know the cast of characters really well. I've worked across all levels of this organization, and I have deep relationships across all levels of this organization. And I know I can now lead this organization because of that. But it's more of a belief that Dan has in us to continue the success that we've had. And I'm ready for that challenge. And with that, we will open it up for questions.
You're right here in front of Tom.
Tom Withers, Associated Press. Thanks, guys. Congratulations, Koby. Dan, it's been widely reported that Kyrie Irving is asked to be traded. First of all, what was your reaction to that? And then secondly, will you honor that request?
Well, as it's been widely reported, I sat down with Kyrie Irving and his agent a few weeks back. I don't know the exact date. And we do this, we try to do this every summer. And I think most of them we have, as we've done with other players and their agent, and whether their contract's coming up or not. And there was several scenarios discussed at that time, and I don't feel it's appropriate really get into the details of all those scenarios. And so, I don't know the sources of the report that there was a trade request made. I read it in the media like some of you reported and some of you read, but we talked about a wide range of possibilities in the future. At that time, we had not signed Koby yet as our general manager, and there were a few other moves, I believe, that have been made that weren't made at that time. So, these things are fluid. We think that Kyrie Irving is, one of the best guards in the NBA. He's part of a championship, 3 years straight to the finals, and, we value his talent significantly. So
he's a core piece of what we've done. Kyrie's a tremendous player. He has made great contributions to this franchise, and we enjoy him as a player, and we're going to keep sort of the stuff in house in terms of what was said in those meetings. But he continues to be a core piece of who we are and what we do.
David Grenneman, ESPN. For Koby and Dan, if you're not going to get into those meetings, that's fair. What's happened in terms of the franchise communication with Kyrie since then? If you want to, protect that information, okay. But where do things stand with Kyrie Irving?
Sure, we've had dialogue with his representation. It's a fluid situation and something that we're just not going to address right now.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. I have to ask straight up, do you intend to trade Kyrie?
I don't want to talk about that. Again, like I said to Dave, we've been in touch with his representation, and it's a fluid situation.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. Dan, as we were going through this with the GM situation, it was discussed many times over that no GM has ever gotten a second contract from you, and I'm curious why you think that is.
I haven't really thought of it in terms of a second contract. I actually have to think about that as you're saying that. So, we've had 3 GMs here that have lasted an average of 4 years each, which is a presidential term. And I think these days that's 4 years is 4 years. And I never really looked upon it as why not a second contract. I will tell you that, each time we've had different circumstances among whether or not, Danny Ferry was here 5 years, and I think Chris Grant was here 3.5, and I think Griff was here a total of like 7 years, 3.5 of them being as general manager. So, today's world, information is moving faster than it's ever moved before, and this is just not in the NBA or in basketball, but inclusive of basketball. So you have information coming at you so fast, moving so fast, and more of it than you've had in the history of the world, really. And we always talk about this in our other businesses, and I think decisions and moves, big ones, have been made or are made quicker or faster than they used to be. Again, I'm not saying that's the exact reason or the only reason, but I think that, it's things move faster, and this in a lot of our businesses, not just here, and in other people's businesses as well. And there's also people who are talented individuals who, if you look at somebody's resume and who's a talented person, they tend not to be at the same place. You can probably look at a lot of your guys' resumes, and probably most of you probably in the last X amount of years are probably more frequently moved than previous years, because industries change, things change, and that's part of sort of the overhang of, or the overview of why I think some of this happens. But I'll tell you what, I do feel extraordinarily positive about this team. I'm walking into this building here today, and the narrative, I guess, that our front office is in disarray. I mean, these guys 5 years ago, from the night that Griffin and I both just sort of decided that it didn't feel right moving forward. And it wasn't for, by the way, another thing I just want to make sure that I put out there, had nothing to do with money, had nothing to do with specific trades or players or anything like that. We just philosophically and culturally had a little bit different views of how things were going to go forward. And the team here that we have, and the guys I introduced, and other guys I haven't introduced, and Koby, it's a feeling. You go by feeling sometimes, you go by experience, and you go by knowledge and all that, but I do feel as strong as I've ever felt about a team. I think these guys have killed it in the last not 21, it's more than that now, 5 to 6 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, and I think they'll continue to kill it.
And Jason, to your question, like just taking a step back, these are tremendous opportunities, right? They're 1 of 30. If I told you 10 years ago when I started on this journey, when going back to UMass for sports management to get my advanced degree in that, if you told me 10 years from now I'd be sitting up here with Dan Gilbert as the general manager of Cavaliers, I would have told you you're crazy. These are unbelievable opportunities. They're great opportunities for us. We have a great team, and we're really excited to keep this thing moving forward. In terms of David Griffin, the biggest testament to him is he's got us all ready for this. He was a tremendous leader for us, and that's what he did. That's the best testament to him, is he has all of us ready for this challenge.
Terry Polito, Plain Dealer. Dan, you basically, you have at this key juncture there a rookie GM, and yeah, he's been here 6 years, but frankly, he's kind of number 3 in the pecking order. With whatever's going on with Kyrie Irving, obviously Kyrie has had all kinds of chances to deny he wanted to be traded, and instead he's posting videos. So, how do you? I guess what do you say to the fans to say, look, this thing is not, in real trouble here?
Well, how's your guys' summer going?
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Let me talk to that a little bit, Dan. So, another thing that no one's talked about during this whole process is our head coach, Coach T. Lue, who remains a rock and a huge cultural piece for this organization. He's a tremendous human being, but he's also just a relationships guy. Great relationships across the league, great relationships across our team. He's helped us immensely through this transition process. with recruiting of free agents and making sure we've been stable. He's a great partner. He's a great coach. He has great instincts. He has great X's and O's. He has great rapport with players. The ATIOs, hat tip to David Minnan. He's incredible in game, but he's just been an incredible partner throughout this whole transition, and he's a great cultural piece for us, and that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed in terms of him. It hasn't changed in terms of our front office, the back of the house, the players. This is largely the same, and we're going to keep moving forward and get better and turn over every stone we can. But like I said before in my opening, this thing is not broken.
And I just want to add something to that, Terry, that, you know, I have the luxury of comparing various businesses to each other. Clearly, the NBA is a unique, you know, it's a unique animal, right? And you can only really play the cards that are dealt you. You don't control everything. I mean, nobody controls everything in every business, but particularly in this one, there's certain cards you get dealt, and you can't complain about the cards that are dealt. You just got to look and how can you best play them. And what you try to do is just you take your experience, you take any mistakes you've made in the past, try to learn from them, and you look at everything. You try to get the best people in the best positions, and get the team on the right path. And I believe we're going to be competing for championships for a long period of time. I really do, and especially this year coming up. And we're not done yet. I mean, we're not done yet. And I think, frankly, for a guy who wasn't even officially in the GM position, and we signed Derrick Rose. We're bringing over Jetty Osman from Turkey, and we've got Jeff Green, and we keep working every single day. There's all kinds of possibilities. It's one thing you learn is you don't control everything. If you're making a trade, there's another team that has to agree to a trade. You can't say we want to trade or we want to do this without the other team agreeing. So you do your best to try to make that happen. But I think Koby will be particularly good at that when those opportunities come up.
One last thing, Dan. What happened with Chauncey Billups?
Well, first of all, we talked to Chauncey Billups, and we informally discussed the possibility of him being in this role. Chauncey's a great guy. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for a long period of time, and he and I both agreed that the timing was not right. This, again, was misreported. It's nothing to do with the money at all. I mean, for you guys to think that we're in this, payroll tax or luxury tax to where we are, and we're going to worry about, relative. I don't want to ever say $1 million or $2 or $3 or whatever is not a lot of money, but relatively speaking, that's just our track record. That's not how we make decisions. So it had nothing to do with money, and I think that it was the right decision, frankly, for him and us. I think the timing's not right. I think it will be. I think one day Chauncey Billups will probably be a great instrumental front office person somewhere. But just with everything going on here, it wasn't the right time.